Kansas City, Broncos. What did you think about the game? What stood out to you? I mean, obviously Kansas City completely demolished a Denver team they're just not good. Okay, I do believe Drew Lock is a quarterback. I think he's good. I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback yet, but what did you think about that game?
Well, I mean, Kansas City, I thought had been underachieving a little bit this year. They kind of feeling their oats maybe on who they are. I don't think they obviously didn't play well against the Raiders. They didn't play that well against New England. So they've struggled a little bit, but Denver's not really. I don't see Denver as anything other than if that, a okay 500 team. So they did what they were supposed to do. I like Drew Luck to me isn't that good of a quarterback. He's a guy that is a tweener where you don't know if he's going. It certainly hasn't. Doesn't have the talent that some of these other guys, like you guys have been talking about this year. So I don't expect much from them, and I didn't expect much from them yesterday. But I had expected Kansas City to be a little bit more dominant.
Now, Jeff, what did you think about the game? Now, obviously, it wasn't something that really stood out to you. Do you think Drew Lock is a franchise quarterback?
No, he stinks.
You really? So you don't think that he could be a future quarterback or starting quarterback for this Bronco team to win a Super Bowl?
He's a middling guy, right? He's a middling guy, right? He's not going to be, your top end quarterback. He might not lose you a bunch of games. He could be in the league for a long time, but he's a middle of the road kind of guy. He's never going to be, what Russell Wilson is right now, or Patrick Mahomes, or anything like that. He's not going to get to that status. Mm-hmm. And he's a decent quarterback. That's fine, but he's not overly impressive.
No, and I like Drew Lock. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's got a lot of weapons. And some of these guys, when they start to develop, they're very young. The Judys of the world. They drafted a lot of wide receiver stock in this year's draft, which, as you know, this draft had more first and second round draft picks when it came to wide receivers than any draft before. I mean, 16 or 18 first and second round wide receivers drafted. It was unbelievable. So, and they're saying this is the best wide receiving class in almost 25 years. So hopefully some of these guys start to develop and show off. The only person that really so far has stood out to me this year in the wide receiver class is Claypool and what's his name? CD Lamb. Those are the only two guys that really have, and Jefferson. Jefferson looks good over there in Minnesota. He looks good too. We haven't seen enough of Denzel Mims. We only saw him in one game, and again, he had a decent game, but he really didn't show his ability. So,
underrated guy this year. He hasn't gotten a ton of touches, but underrated. Who's having a good year? Henry Ruggs has been terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good to say him. Absolutely.
Henry
one
Ruggs.
of the best guys at Alabama.
Yes, Henry Ruggs has been good. Yes, and I'm not a big Henry Ruggs fan. And Jerry Jeudy, who I thought was the better of the two. He really hasn't shown his ability yet. I mean, he was the best route runner in this year's draft. Everybody said he has not played well. He really hasn't. Now, I think
another rookie that's played well, just under the radar again, Brandon Ayuk in San Francisco has been pretty good.
Yes, he has been too. Absolutely. So the last game I want to talk about was Sunday Night Football, and that to me was the game of the week. I mean, tonight's game is going to be fun to watch. You got Chicago and the LA Rams. I think both teams are sensational. Both of them are playoff teams. Chicago, I still think, I've said it and I'll say it again, I think Chicago is one of my favorites to come out of the NFC this year. Not because of Nick Foles, but I think this defense is for real. I think this is a very good defense, and they have a very good running game. Chicago has a very good running game. And Allen Robinson, if he can stay healthy, they've got weapons. But Seattle and Arizona, I'll tell you this. If there was anybody that showed off and why people could believe that he could be a superstar in the very near future, it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray outplayed, in my eyes, the MVP of the NFL this year. Now, Russell Wilson is a sensational quarterback. He got outplayed by a smaller and to me, the better quarterback in that particular game on Sunday night. And you saw Kyler Murray, as the game got longer and it got to the fourth quarter, you could see that he was slowly but surely figuring things out, and he got more confident He was more confident. You saw Hopkins make plays, and he's got weapons all over the field now. Now, if Kyler Murray and this Arizona Cardinal team makes the playoffs, and you saw some of the young players that they drafted, being their nice superstar Clemson player, the linebacker safety, show up Simmons, who played. He made that interception that really won him the game. But you saw Kyler Murray show off his skill. Not only does he know how to run, he can make every single throw, and he plays at a fast pace, just like Russell Wilson does. He was sensational last night. And Russell Wilson, he made a lot of mistakes. He threw three interceptions yesterday. Right. He wasn't good.
Yeah, by far, right.
So, Jeff, what stood out to you? I think a quarterback, there's a game that a quarterback becomes that superstar. You know, he shows off his skills. Do you think that this was the game that pretty much changed everything for Kyler Murray's career?
Well, you're asking me two questions, okay? One is what stood out to me, and then is this a game that defines Kyler Murray's career? So I will answer both of them in what stood out to me last night, horrible coaching. Terrible coaching is what stood out to me last night, and I don't think it's necessarily a career-defining game because Kyler Murray was terrific last year. People don't realize that the Cardinals lost 5 games last year by 3 points or less in the last 30 seconds. 5. They were a pretty good team last year. They managed to overcome some horrific coaching last night by Cliff Kingsbury. Horrific. Absolutely some of the worst coaching I've ever seen in my life. Everyone's making a big deal of the play DK Metcalf made. Right. Chasing down Buda Baker. Right? The thing people are missing off the back of that is the Cardinals had the ball first and goal at the 6. DK Metcalf makes a great play. The Cardinals go absolutely nowhere. They go for it on 4th down and throw it away. Dude, you're halfway through the second quarter. What are you going for it on 4th and goal from the 6? Kick it and get to 3 points. You got to come away with points in that. Instead, they came away with no points because of a terrible coaching decision. Why is that a big deal? Well, because it's a big deal because, and again, they're going to overcome some horrific coaching because I have no idea why you're going for it with 30 seconds, why you're kicking a field goal on 2nd down with 30 seconds left. They should be getting more yardage to make the field goal easier. If they had gotten those 3 points off of Buda Baker's interception, they would have been kicking for the regulation win and wouldn't have had to give the ball to Seattle in overtime for them for a chance to win the football game. They overcame some horrific coaching last night. Horrific.
And Kyler Murray showed you why I believe he's going to be a superstar. When people are trying to compare Kyler Murray to Baker Mayfield, it's a joke. Kyler Murray is a much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield is. And you could see it. This is his second year. He's getting better and better every single week. He's got guys. He's got weapons. DeAndre Hopkins. You saw the grabs that he made yesterday. He's got weapons all over. That kid Kirk, who he played with in high school and played college, high school ball with him, and played for Texas A&M with him. So you're looking at some players that are starting to develop. And Kyler Murray, he's become a phenomenon. And I think that he's going to only get better and better. Mark, what did you think of Kyler Murray's play yesterday?
I think that, but before I talk about that, I think that play with DJ Metcalf, that reminded me of the play in the 2005 the divisional playoff game between New England and the Patriots when New England and the Broncos, when Champ Bailey got caught by Ben Watson. Watson came out of nowhere, and the Patriots actually looked at that as one of the most inspirational plays they ever made. And the angle he had to get. So that's kind of what that reminded me of. But Kyler Murray, his skills are really unique. And Russell Wilson and him are a lot alike. And you can see where they kind of mentor each other. Definitely he learns a lot from Russell Wilson. But when they were down 10 with like 2.5 minutes left, and for them to win that game, for an organization that really hasn't done much outside of make the Super Bowl in 2000, when they lost to the Steelers. I think these are the types of wins that can really, make them more important than they are on a national scale. And to win a game like that against an undefeated team at home, I had stopped watching, and then when I came back, I saw it was in overtime. So, I mean, they do. They have a lot of weapons in their offense, and I think it's been something that can improve and get better. And the trades they've made, where you see the chemistry that they have with Hopkins and Murray, is really excellent. And then you have Larry Fitzgerald, which is one of the best wide receivers ever, and he broke another record last night. But I do agree that there was when Metcalf stopped him. Why in the world are you going for it on fourth down there where you didn't need to in the first half?
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to make mistakes. Coaches make mistakes. And I'm not saying that Kingsbury is a great coach, and thank God he's not the Jets coach because he'd probably be gone too. But you're looking at a young quarterback. He's developing right in front of our eyes. How about the running back? Arizona's running back. He was sensational yesterday. What's his name again? Edwards? I think it's Edwards. Was it Edwards? What is his name, Jeff? I can't pull it up right now. Let me pull
one?
it. The running back for Arizona. He was running. He had a sensational game.
Kenyon Drake, or
No,
Yes.
not Drake. Drake got hurt.
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds. He I don't know what happened. I don't know what's been going on with Chase Edmonds, but that was he had a sensational game. You want to talk about Kyler Murray? What Kyler Murray did? Go look at what Edmonds did in that game.
Yeah.
Edmonds was sensational, absolutely sensational. I'm going to pull up his numbers right now.
Edmonds. I got him.
Can I just say that was a terrific point that Mark just made, by the way? I completely agree. Ben Watson's play against the Broncos chasing down Champ Bailey was inspirational, and I thank Mark for bringing that up. That was a terrific memory.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yeah, because I know that the Patriots, that's the only play that they have in their Hall of Fame that happened during a losing game. But yeah, Chase Edmonds, 5 rushes, 58 yards, 7 catches, 87 yards. And he's a guy, Kenyon Drake is a guy that gets the majority of the carries. Only get 5 carries.
He got hurt yesterday.
And to do threat that he is. And Hopkins had 12 catches, second most. So, yeah, Edmonds really kind of stood out as another weapon, just another weapon that they had on offense last night.
Yeah, and I thought that was the game of the week. That was so fun to watch. It really was. And to see them go back and forth, the kickers miss kicks and goes all the way to overtime. Gonzalez, who barely ever misses. He misses a field goal. Russell Wilson had a chance to bring it all the way down. He throws an interception. I mean, that game was just all back and forth. That was what you wait for to watch in a football game. The back and forth.
Almost as good as Giants-Eagles.
No, I don't know about that. I will say this. When I watch Kyler Murray play and I see how small he is and how durable this kid is when he gets hit, he's unbelievable. He is really a fun kid to watch. And I do believe that this kid is only going to get better. He is the next Russell Wilson in the league. I really do. Russell Wilson said it best. He said, I believe I had a good game. He just had a better game. And that's.
Can I just make a point here real quick, though, too? And I believe Russell Wilson is a top 5 quarterback. I don't want to disparage what he did. We're going to start to talk about maybe, just maybe, Russell Wilson has a problem throwing the ball at the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
The interception of Malcolm Butler in the paint, right? There was that. Yep. And then last night he throws it again, an interception on the goal line to Buda Baker, and he almost runs it back. Can we stop letting Russell Wilson throw the ball in these situations? Why didn't they just give it to Carlos Hyde?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man. That's what I love about football. You just never know what's going to happen in a game. Who's going to touch the ball? Who's the next guy up? And last night, I'm sorry, that was a fun game to watch. It was
terrific.
I stayed up the whole time. It was 1:00 when the game was practically 1:15 by the time the game was over. And Arizona, they outplayed, to me, at the time, the best team in the NFL. I mean, going into the game, a lot of people said that Seattle was the best team in the NFL, even though their defense is skeptical. I don't think their defense is that good, but that offense has been as good as any offense in football. And
well, I don't know who it was last night that was calling the game that made the point. I think it might have been Chris Collinsworth.
It was Collinsworth.
Yeah. But he was correct. If the Seahawks don't win the NFC or don't make it that far, it's going to be because their pass rush stinks. Letting Clowney go was a really underrated kind of thing for them. They can't rush the quarterback. They're terrible at it.